I think I can say that I'm happier than I ever have been in my entire life. Is anyone else crashing out right now? Does it not feel like our world is heading into the abyss and into the trenches of a hellhole that is hell? This isn't new, but I feel like it's especially pressing right now. Like, Gen Z, we're out here talking about how we're not going to have kids, and we say that that's the reason why we're not having sex. It's not. The reason why we're not having sex is because we literally don't know how to be around people, and we are so connected to our digital selves that we do not know how to exist in the world as an actual embodiment of a person. And especially in a time right now where I'm like in my late 20s, approaching my late 20s. I'm not that old, okay? So many of my friends don't have a job, or it feels like so many of my friends don't have a job, or they've literally been looking for jobs for months, if not years. And it really is feeling like what's going on in the world in the abstract is truly affecting our personal day-to-day lives. Oh, it's so hot in here. Sometimes instead of journaling, I'll just talk into a camera endlessly. And it's kind of like self-therapy. Like, I also do go to therapy, but I go once every 3 weeks because I'm healed. Actually, my friend was visiting me and he kind of pointed out like, okay, your music that you listen to is like primarily a very specific type of like hyper pop, go, 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 on coke, drugs, bubblegum pop. To which I was like, okay, get the out of the car. What I am doing for my listening and consumption hours is chronically listening to the news. I am a big up first NPR ho. Oh, it's so hot in here. I don't know how people do this. Do people turn on their AC? Sometimes I envy people who genuinely are just like in their corporate or tech job. Consulting, business, consulting. But on the other hand, I know people who are depressed as hell right now, and a lot of it is related to the state of the world or how current events or what's going on in the world is just like so debilitating that they can't like get out of their bed and function. And I think what this is all boiling down to is there being no way to live in the modern world or the Western world without feeling some level of guilt. Whether it's I'm choosing to be ignorant, I'm choosing to not really know what's going on in the news, or I know that there's really nothing that I can do, which is kind of true and then also kind of not true depending on the context. Or people are guilty that they're not also starving or like don't have clean drinking water and live in an apartment. I know I fall into this category a lot. Basically, all of them are bad. All of them are bad. All of those scenarios are bad. My positionality now, I think, is if they're all bad, if there is no option, then you just got to do you. This is where things get interesting because maybe it's more related to us being like in our older 20s and not our mid or early 20s. Or it could be related to specifically this time right now when the world is on fire and it's like the roaring 20s, but in the 2020s. But I think I can say that I'm happier than I ever have been in my entire life. And I already feel kind of bad saying that. I feel more grateful than I ever had in my life. I feel more whole than I ever had in my life. I feel more just, okay, you know what? I'll say it, happy, okay? Because I'm happy if you feel like a room. It's making me grateful for any piece of god terrible bullshit, whoopee cushion, fart, shit, poop, shit, legislation that gets passed, that doesn't personally affect me or my close ones or my loved ones. Like, every time that something bad doesn't happen at this point, I'm very grateful. When the world is in chaos, we celebrate, we dance, we focus on what's in our control, as opposed to the things that are outside of our control. This was the whole Biden years, when things are cutesy and nice and we're not talking about the actual stuff and we're just like, oh yeah, pretending that the world is great. That's when assembly of little devil child MAGA starts to occur and unleash the beast. And now the beast is fully unleashed. I'm talking dragon from Shrek flying out of the dungeon, okay? And while that's happening, you know, like we being donkey can be out here singing our little song. I feel this on the day-to-day basis too, where it's like, doesn't matter. This doesn't freaking matter. Yeah, I'll go, I don't know, to dance church, which is something that I did last week, which guess who I saw? Literally, guess who I saw there? Dance church is basically just like you go and you dance. And it's like this like very like fun, but also kind of like connective and spiritual. Guess who I saw there? Chapel Rowan. And I hope that I didn't ruin it for literally specifically Chapel Rowan, because I know that she doesn't like to be seen. Moving on. There's also something about jadedness that kind of enforces a level of present-mindedness. You could get rich now. You could spend your money now. You could live that high life now. Great. You could also just assume, maybe you're operating on the assumption that actually like there's no point of having a retirement account because I'm not gonna be able to retire. Like the world is gonna be incinerated by the time that happens. And you know what? Like, more power to you. Hi. Sorry. Me making this video comes at a time where I, sat down in my little coaching class and talked more about like what my values are, or that was like the exercise. Like, what are our values? You have to choose. What came up at the top of my list was, drum roll please, purpose and meaning. I kind of feel like we don't talk enough about purpose and meaning. Like, especially for the Zillennials, Gen Z, whatever, like, really the only thing that can keep us going through, obviously, except for everything else, because a lot of us live very privileged lives. This is first world problems. I should have started this video by saying this is very first world problems, and I understand that. But a lot of us, what we are chasing so much right now is meaning and purpose. And like, feeling fulfilled from the things that we're doing, whether it's in our job or in our local communities, because these things are destroyed by social media and the interwebs, especially this unemployment era that we're living in. Like, it is forcing, kind of like how COVID did, it's forcing a lot of people that I know who are in their later 20s to really think about what is meaningful to them. And sometimes they realize that actually their job, even when they had it and they thought that they liked it, was not necessarily meaningful to them. And that's important to clock and know too. Whether it's with money or happiness or experiences or whatever, it's like, yeah, like other people might not have this and that might be really, really hard. That doesn't necessarily mean that you should restrict yourself then. Like, you not getting a coffee doesn't mean that someone overseas is now going to have fresh drinking water. Like, especially when we're operating in a system and our literal taxpayer dollars is going into funding a genocide, like, we are doing something bad. Like, regardless, we're doing something bad. I guess I feel grateful that I'm not completely jaded to the extent that I just don't care and I don't think that we can actually do anything to change what's happening or going on in the world. And that pessimistic optimism has allowed me to actually to act and to do things as opposed to not doing things. Like, I think the worst possible case scenario is to have no action. Like, that's actually not helping anyone, including you, probably, I think. Doing something might not do anything, but doing nothing certainly will not do anything. In this influencer digital economy and world, it's like, if we're not making the hugest impact and the hugest difference, or if we're not an 18-year-old activist who's now running for office and trying to flip a seat in the Senate, sometimes it's kind of like, well, what's the point of doing it? If we can't perform for our followers or for other people, then what's the point of even doing anything? And if that thought process is proliferated or proliferates amongst everyone, then that's exactly how the system TM gets what they want, which is us doing nothing and us being blind, being vulnerable to being blindsided. I did not mean to make this a motivational speech or a get out of bed, you lazy f***. Get up, get out, get motivated. Get so choosing to be an active participant in society, I think is a very brave and important choice to make. So maybe what I'm trying to say is, you go out and go dance. Do the things that you need to do to show up. I'm sick of people. This is my big issue with Gen Z. People not showing up and being like flecks of dust in the wind, as if things are going to get better if they just do absolutely nothing. And I was a teacher for Gen Z, and this is what really pissed me off, is like, it's okay if you're dumb, but what I'm not going to take is you not trying. Because if you're not trying, if you're just going to be a fleck of dust, you're going to be taken advantage of by the system. That's the type of person, not to be extreme and like morbid here, but that's exactly how Nazism proliferated. I refuse to live in a world where my friends just decide to just willingly felt a little oopsie, felt a little flirty, felt a little crazy, and fell into fascism. Hell no.
Oh my god, it's my roommates are coming down the stairs. Hi! For you, based on what we were talking about earlier, how would you describe?
I'm really enjoying my summer, which is surprising because there's so much bad stuff going on in the world. And I think that I'm really embracing the joy because of how bad it is. It's like I need this joy as a form of healing and honestly surviving through it, and like to continue like caring and like tapping in and being present with the issues.
I love it. I love it.
If you have guilt about like living a good life or like having nice things when other people don't, that is predicated on the fact that you have good things that other people don't. Like, we have it good, like, let's live good, and then also maybe like help spread some of that good, help spread some of that joy. Okay, I talked so much, and now my brain feels so weird. Is this what feeling present feels like? I needed this. So, for the 5 people who made it to the end, including me 2 times, thank you. And I'll see you next time.
Get up, put your mind to it.